Hi everyone, welcome to the first episode in hopefully a series of videos regarding the Ren Pool project. My name is Federico Rodes and I'm the main developer of the project, and you can find me on Discord, GitHub, a bunch of places. I leave all links in the description below in case you want to reach out. So today I would like to give you a quick overview regarding the Ren Pool application. Also, I'm going to play a little bit with it so you can see the main features. But before starting, let me remind you what we are trying to achieve here. The idea is to build a staking pool for the Ren protocol. This means we are trying to develop a series of smart contracts to allow users to collectively gather 100,000 Ren tokens, and in that way being able to set up or register a dark node on the Ren protocol. Of course, all fees generated by the dark node will then be distributed among all stakers. Yeah, so that's the idea behind the project. Now let's have a look at the current version of the app. So as you can see, it's a simple UI. It's kind of a cheap copy of Light of Finance, in case you know that app. And well, now I'm logged in with, let's say, some regular user, someone that would like to deposit some tokens or stake some tokens. And basically what we can do, either we can deposit or we can withdraw our tokens. Yeah. And then we have some two sections. The first section called stats, where we have some information about the state of the pool. So the first line tells us the amount of total tokens that are currently locked in the pool, at the moment 0. And then this value is, well, the capacity of the pool, yeah, the limit. Then we have the second line, pool is locked, equals false at the moment. Basically what this does is, or what it's telling us is that if we can deposit or withdraw tokens from the pool. Basically, once we reach this limit of 100,000 Ren tokens, we'll lock the pool so the balance doesn't change and we can register the dark node on the Ren protocol. Finally, we have this third line. Basically, it's telling us what's the balance of the current logged in user. At the moment 0 because I haven't deposited any tokens. And then we have this addresses section with some important addresses associated to the project. First the Ren token, then the Ren Pool contract address. Then we have the owner. We are not going to talk about the owner too much, but imagine it's a multi-sig wallet that in case of problems with the protocol or this particular pool, we can jump in and fix the issues. And finally, we have this node operator, which is the kind of important part of the app. First is the person that deployed the Ren Pool contract, this particular instance, and then is the person that is going to, once we reach the 100,000 Ren token mark, is going to come here and register the dark node and also, well, manage all everything we want to do with a pool. Okay, so this is the app. Let me switch now to the node operator and let's see what's the difference in the UI. So currently I'm logged in with account 2. Let me switch to account 1. As you can see, well, my address matches the address of the node operator. I'm on Covan testnet, of course, because, well, we are testing. And then on my wallet, I have some ETH to pay for transactions, and also I have 100,000 Ren tokens so that we can test the functionality of the pool, right? Now, if we go back to the UI, the main difference between the previous UI is this admin tab here. If I go in there, we can see that we can perform a bunch of actions. So the first one would be register a dark node here. Then we should be able to deregister a dark node. Then call refund. This means pull the tokens from the Ren protocol back into our pool, and finally unlock the pool. This is basically allows users to withdraw their tokens. Okay, so the plan for today, let's say, is to play a little bit with the app. Let's try to deposit some tokens, then register a dark node, and then do the reverse process. Let's say the register a dark node, call refund, and so on. Okay, so let's start by depositing 100,000 Ren tokens, and let's see what happens. 100,000. Okay. And now we need to pay for 2 transactions. This is standard. Probably you interacted with some other protocol involving ERC20 tokens before, and you notice that you always have to pay for 2 transactions. Usually the first transaction is called approve, and basically what it does is to allow or give permission to the protocol to access your tokens. And then the second transaction, in this case, is going to be called deposit. It's where the funds are actually taken from your wallet and moved into the protocol to perform some logic. So let me get these 2 transactions going, and then we can keep working. Okay, both transactions went through, and as you can see now we have a sign at the top saying the pool is locked. It means we reached the capacity of the pool, or the limit, and then the stats have been updated accordingly. And now as we can see, we cannot deposit any more tokens, and in case we switch to withdraw, the same, the form is disabled. Okay, so now what we should do is we should call the Ren the node operator, so that he can log in and register a dark node. Now, as we can see, in order to register a dark node, we need a dark node URL. So what's this all about? Basically, this URL is the URL that you get when spinning up or a dark node using the Ren protocol CLI. So I'll do this quickly, and then I come back here and we'll continue with the process. Okay, so we're back. As you can see on the right hand side of my screen, I have this green URL that says https mainnet.renproject.io. So this is basically my dark node, or the server I just deployed to the cloud to start performing some computations on the Ren protocol, right? So what we should do first, let's have a look here. I have the command center of the Ren project, where we can see the status of this dark node. Now, since we are on testnet, let me switch here, change from mainnet to testnet, and now we can see the status of the dark node. Okay, as you can see, it says not registered because, of course, I just created it, so nothing happened. Now, if we go back to the app, in order to register this dark node, what we need to do is to copy this URL, paste it here, and again I need to switch from mainnet to testnet. Okay. So now we'll need to again pay for 2 transactions because we are trying to transfer some ERC20 tokens from the pool to the Ren protocol, and at the same time we are registering the dark node, right? So I'll do that quickly and then go back to you. Okay, both transactions went through. So what we should do now is to go back to the command center and let me refresh the page to see if the status of this dark node have changed. So I refresh. And now, as you can see, we have this yellow dot, and now the status says registration pending. So it looks like it worked. We were able to transfer our tokens from the pool to the Ren project, plus the information about our dark node, and get started the registration process. So another thing to notice is this operator address. Basically, this is the person or the wallet, or in this case the contract that registered the dark node. So in case at some point in the future we want to deregister the dark node, all funds will be transferred to this address. So in our case, it's super important to make sure that this address matches the Ren pool and is not the address of the owner or the node operator. So let's see this. If you go back to the app and we have a look at the list of addresses, well, it matches the address of the Ren pool. So that's fine. Okay. So what else we can do? Well, let me go back to the command center, and as you can see, we have this yellow dot and it says registration pending. So basically, we haven't finished with the registration process. Usually on the Ren protocol, you need to wait up to 30 days for the registration to settle. So because the way the Ren protocol works is using epochs. So every epoch, meaning every 30 days, you can either withdraw your fees or register a dark node or deregister a dark node and so on. So what we should do now is wait for 30 days to settle and make sure that the status of the dark node is registered, says registered. Of course, we cannot do that, or we should not do that. And well, luckily there is a method in the Ren pool contract, in the Ren project contract, that allows us to jump one epoch forward, yeah, particularly on testnet, right? So what we can do now, or what we're going to do, is we go back to the admin page, and as you can see, we have this epoch button. Well, basically what this does is to call that method to trigger a new epoch and accelerate the process. Okay, so let me pay for this transaction, and then we'll go back to the command center and see if the registration operation have settled. Okay, the transaction went through. So let me go back to the command center. Let me wait a little bit. Probably we'll have a pop-up. Okay, here it says a new epoch has just started. So basically this is what we did. And now let me refresh the page. And as you can see now, we have a green dot and the status now says register. Awesome. Okay, so now let's see what else we can do. So we have the dark node registered. It's generating some fees, as we can see. So now let's suppose the fees are not enough, or I don't know, the stakers for some reason decides to deregister the dark node because they want to get their tokens back. So we need a way to deregister this dark node and get our Ren tokens back from the Ren protocol to the pool. So let's see how we can do that via the admin app, the admin panel. So here, as you can see, we have this deregister button, which basically what it does is calling a method in the Ren project to register our dark node. Internally, we have the node ID and so on. So let me pay for this transaction, and we go back to the command center and let's see if the status has changed. Okay, transaction went through. We go back to the command center. Let me refresh the page. And now we have again a yellow dot and the status says the registration pending. Okay, now we'll do the same as before. Since we have a yellow dot, this means this operation is not settled yet. So what we need to do is to jump one epoch forward. So we'll go back to the app and pay for a new transaction to jump to the next epoch. Okay, that's done. We go back to the command center, we refresh, and now the status says awaiting refund period. Perfect. Now, what this means is that our dark node is not longer generating fees, as we can see, but however, our tokens are still on the Ren protocol. So what we need to do is to wait to the next epoch, because again, we have a yellow dot, and after that epoch, we will be able to call refund to get our tokens back. So again, back to the app, we pay to jump to the next epoch. We have the confirmation. We go back to the command center, we refresh, and now as you can see it says refundable. Awesome. So now we should be able to call refund. So again, we go back to the app, we have this refund button, which what it does is calling the refund method of the Ren project under the hood. So we pay for this transaction, we confirm. Okay, we have the confirmation, we go back to the command center, finally we refresh, and as you can see now the dark node says not registered. So we were able to transfer the tokens from the Ren protocol back into the pool. Great. So if you scroll up and we try to withdraw, let's say, we see that the pool is still locked. Yeah, this form is disabled. So what we need to do to finish the process is manually unlock the pool. Again, I need to pay for one extra transaction. We have the confirmation, we go back to withdraw, still disabled, but let me refresh to update the state of the UI. Okay, as you can see now this form is enabled, and also withdraw. So let's try withdrawing our initial deposit, meaning 100,000 Ren tokens. First, let me check that my balance in my wallet is 0. So let's withdraw. We pay for one transaction this time. Transaction confirmed. We go back to the wallet, and now we have all our tokens in the wallet. So okay, so hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's a bit what's the word? It's kind of dense, I don't know, but well, hopefully it gave you an idea of what we can do with the application and what's the status of the project. So in case you have any questions or suggestions, please reach out. I leave all links in the description below. Well, have a nice day. Cheers.